We have a typo on resolution number 10 on the agenda. Palillo's last name, the typo was, they forgot the W. It's okay on the resolution, it's just the agenda.
Oh, hello, got it.
Yeah,
I
it's
got it.
P-E-L-L-O, the O instead of W. Do what? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a seat. The meeting's about to begin. The meeting will come to order. Today's April 23rd at 6 p.m. Please note that David Zajac will be excused from this evening's meeting for a death in the family. He's spending some private time with his family this evening. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councilmember Archie. Here. Councilmember Bax.
Here.
Councilmember Miles.
Here.
Council Chairperson Perry.
Here. Dante Miles will lead us in our prayer and opening exercises this evening.
Let's bow our heads. Almighty and gracious God, we come before you this evening with humble hearts, grateful for the opportunity to serve our people of this great city. As we gather to make decisions to shape our community, we ask that your guidance and your wisdom and discernment be with us. May our minds be sharp, our spirits be just, and our hearts be full of compassion. Bless the people of Niagara Falls, especially those who feel unheard, unseen, and forgotten. Help us to be advocates to ensure that every voice is listened to and every concern is addressed with fairness and respect. Grant us the courage to stand firm on what is right, even when the path is difficult. We ask that your hand be upon this council tonight, that we may govern with integrity, transparency, and a deep commitment to the welfare of all of those who call this city home. Let every decision that we make reflect our love for our community and the desire to make this place a place where everyone can thrive. In your holy name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have no presentations this evening, so we will begin with the public speakers on legislative items. We'll ask that you clearly state your name and the item you're speaking on as you speak. Will the clerk please call the first speaker?
All right. Our first speaker is Janine Gallo, Cayuga Drive, agenda item number 1.
Okay. I want to speak on the agenda of, I know you updated the agenda, so it's a little different than it was a few hours ago. Item one's the same? Thanks, Tom. Yep. Good thing you're an attorney. This, while we're on that, Tom, since you chose to shout out while I'm talking, I'd like for the council to do the same rules that are on the back of the sheet. Like, I don't yell out, we're not allowed to yell out names, so I don't want my name yelled out. There was 3 bids on RFP. Paws in the Falls kept being shouted out, but the other bidder didn't get shouted out. I'd appreciate if the man that's the superior would follow his own rules that he made, oh Father God.
Yeah, which,
And our next speaker is Carrie Woodhouse. I'm sorry, is that correct? You're going to pass? Okay, thank you so much. And there is another speaker, Helen Coleman. Helen, when you come to the podium, just restate your name, residency, and agenda item. I didn't have that on the sign-in.
Hello, my name is Helen Coleman. I reside at 1502 South Avenue, across from Glug Park, and that's what I want to speak on. Glug Park, I have drove around the city. All of the parks have fences around them.
Ms. Coleman?
Glug Park has no fence. There's a little small fence.
Ms.
but-
Coleman?
What
I'm sorry.
agenda item?
Hold on, dear. This portion is for things that are on the agenda item. What you're saying is very, very important, but I would have to put you on the good for the community. Okay? Okay, no, you're fine. No, it's okay. It's okay. So I will call you again, okay? All right. So that is going to be the last speaker for agenda items only,
Okay.
okay?
Okay, administrative updates, it looks like we have,
None this evening.
okay. And community announcements. We have any community announcements this evening? Anyone? No? Okay. That will move us on to the agenda item, or the adoption of the agenda, and we're at section 4 now. We've had the electronic agenda items in variations for the last week now. I'm sorry.
Just speak a little bit louder into the mic. I'll trade with you. Maybe yours
Okay.
is, mine's is louder, maybe? There you go. There you go. Hello?
Okay. All right, how's that? Is that better? Okay. All right. Okay, we are now at the legislative items, section number 4. Okay, let me just get agenda items, section number 4. We have had the agenda for about a week now, variations. Are there any motions to adopt or change the agenda by anybody? Then may I have a motion to adopt the agenda as proposed?
Motion as proposed.
Okay, may I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any opposition? Okay, please call the roll, Liz.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion carried. We have no minutes to review. Okay. We have nothing, okay. We have nothing from the clerk's office tonight.
No, sir, there's nothing from the clerk's office. We can move right into the agenda items.
All right, moving on to legislative item number 1. May I have a motion for item number 1, please?
Yes, for item number 1, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with the successful bidder, Preferred Metals LLC, for the annual purchase of concrete needed by the Department of Public Works, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17th, 2025.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Okay. I will not restate the motion unless I'm specifically asked to do so. So, are there any requests for information? Any opposition? Okay, Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
And Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion is carried. Legislative item number 2. May I have a motion for legislative item number 2, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with the successful bidder, Frankie's Donuts, Inc., to provide the city with meals for prisoners from May 15th, 2025 to May 14th, 2026, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17th, 2024.
May I have a second?
Second.
Dante, you got a second?
Thank you.
Okay, any information requests, please? Any opposition?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion carried. Legislative item number 3, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve, sorry, I was ahead of myself here. Approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with the successful RFQ respondent, Villani's Lawn and Landscape LLC, for the purchase and delivery of topsoil as needed and where needed by the Department of Public Works, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17, 2025.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Information requests? Any opposition? Okay, Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Okay. Legislative item number 4, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with the successful bidder, Y2J Enterprises, Inc., to provide the Department of Public Works with rented portable toilets as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17th, 2025.
May I have a second?
Second.
Information requests? Any opposition? Liz, please call the roll.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes,
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion.
Mr. Chairman, question?
Legislative item number 5.
Mr. Chairman,
We're not,
can I have a question,
no,
please?
no, we're not taking questions from the floor.
Can you give a little synopsis of the agenda item so the public understands what
Number
you're
5,
voting on?
we're not taking questions from the floor,
It's
sir.
not a question,
We're not taking questions from the floor, sir.
it's a procedural question on this meeting, and I have a right to ask it. I'm the citizen that's gonna pay for all this stuff.
You can ask, you,
Can you give a quick synopsis
we,
of the agenda item so that we know what you people are talking about?
there,
The packet was published 24 hours ago.
This is just the agenda items. We're not at their meeting.
there are packets on the back, there are packets on the,
24 hours ago. It's always available on the council's webpage. You're out of order.
This stuff was all explained there? Just to educate myself?
item number 6. We can provide you with that information after the meeting, sir, if you like it. I will be glad to sit and talk with you, not during the meeting. Item number 6. May I have a motion, please? 5, I'm
For
sorry.
item number-
Item number 5, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, for item number 5, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with Patch Management, Inc. to provide the city with street pothole repairs using spray injection patching technology as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17, 2025.
May I have a second, please?
Second.
Give me a second. May I, information requests? Information requests? Opposition?
Yeah. So this is about the pothole killing and DPW employees filling the potholes. I don't understand why we would be paying extra, money for DPW work. Meaning, they have a set time throughout the day that they show up to work, and we are preemptively giving overtime, to fulfill the task alongside this other device that we're paying for. Like, what are they doing during their shift is what my mind says. I don't know, because I'm not their supervisor. But I don't know that we should be paying double for the same service without seeing what happens with the pothole killer first. And just given the status of our streets right now, I understand the need, so I'm not against filling the holes in any such way. I just don't believe we should be saying, hey, let's do it on overtime. Let's do it during our shift and pay overtime and approve it when necessary. That's just where I'm at. So it's definitely gonna be a no for me.
And also, piggyback off of.
Can I just interject? There was a request for information. No one asked any questions, so that was your debate point. I can't answer a question. I don't know if you wanted me to.
Oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. It was asked who's in opposition, and I gave the public what they asked for, the synopsis, and my opposition to it.
Okay,
I fully
so-
understand hold on. I fully understand the response you gave in the email, so I'm cool with that. But I need people to know that I'm not against the streets being fixed. I'm against preemptively giving overtime to do the streets without the work being done.
So the order of debate is one person speaks on one side of the issue, and then the next person who speaks should be someone who speaks on the other side.
Right.
So since it was Con, we're wondering now if there's anyone who wants to speak for the item.
So, well, my understanding is a little, I guess in the questions I had was a little different. So I just want to be sure that I have the information correct here. So DPW, so first of all, we've had the pothole killer for quite a few years, and I believe at a total, if you take these totals, the same amount, if I'm understanding correctly. So this year, trying things a little differently with the pothole killer, it has a particular technology. I think we've heard from residents that hasn't been the greatest. And trying things differently this year by having DPW giving them some money to use a better product that would stick and adhere and fill the potholes was something that this process is set up to try something different. And if it works, then it gives us an avenue to maybe move in a different direction next year away from the pothole killer. But we don't know unless we try. That's my understanding.
So before you go down, so I asked weeks ago to the administration pertaining to the product used. The response was the product is the same for all municipalities. And that we are, and so if there's something new.
Right, but different from the pothole
but
killer.
from
I'm
the-
saying it's different from the
So,
pothole killer.
so if the pothole killer has a superior product, we use the pothole killer first, and maybe some of the rollers that we just approved being paid for to smash the stuff down and not approve the overtime. What I'm saying is, we can't just, here you go, do it in your extra 4 hours when you have 7 in the daytime to get it done.
So
I mean, I don't know
what
how.
I'm understanding, Brian, is you're objecting to the overtime.
That's it, that is it,
That's
absolutely,
it.
yes.
And what I am what my understanding of this is the estimate is that overtime. It's not a blanket overtime, it's an estimate of the overtime based on what was in the past. But I that is
So
my
what are they
understanding.
doing in their shift if we're already?
But I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Right, see, and I understand it as additional work beyond what they're doing in their shift, and so the pot of money, the 200,000, half goes in one direction, half goes the other. We reduce the work from the pothole killer, use our team for well, that's how I understood
I
it,
get it, but
yeah.
So, with that,
I mean, our residents have been asking for a better way to address it.
Here's the thing, my opposition, again, I would say pretty much the same thing. Of course, we want better streets. We've been screaming for better streets. better paving, better processes in regards to how they actually pave and dig up the roads and dig deeper or whatever it is that we need. But I think the biggest portion of my opposition is the fact that we can have as many emails as we want sent to the administration or whoever else. If the department heads are not here and available to answer these questions in real time before we actually vote on it, then that's the problem that I have. See, because if they were allowed to come here and sit in these seats, and then I can ask them directly, and he can get up here like they used to do, because that's not, because here's the thing, that's not new. I've been in the city council chamber since like about 2016. Having administrative heads here, I mean, the department heads here was actually a normal thing in the previous administration. I'm talking about from DPW, from code enforcement, and to everybody else that was here. Chief of police, people were actually here. So when you got up there to speak, they were actually able to give you real answers. Well, we don't have a mayor, nor administrator, nor a chief, or no one here to answer these questions. So again, what makes it frustrating, and what makes this a no for me as well, is the fact that, you know, we don't have people willing to be transparent enough to give us the true answers, because I don't believe in the extra overtime as well. And my thing is this, like, you know, what is it? To do something over and over again, the same thing over and over again, and expect different results is definitely called insanity. So we just ordered, like you just said, Councilman Archie, we just put a lot of money towards new equipment. So before we start dropping overtime, maybe we need to test out this new equipment that we just got, that we're paying for, and make sure that that works first, and not put the cart before the horse. But I think for future references, and this is for all the powers that be that may be watching this live that's not here, allow some of your department heads to come and actually sit down here and hear us and be able to speak to us and give us the actual answers, instead of us trying to play Where's Waldo with the answers and trying to find answers through someone who doesn't have the answer, and blank seats. So for me, that's the biggest level of opposition for me in regards to this. Nothing against DPW. I believe they're probably one of the most hated departments in the city, because it's trees, it's streets, it's a lot of stuff that we deal with, and it's a lot of, you know, but we have to make sure that, you know, the department heads, they're in charge of how the day-to-day operation is done. So if they're not creating a solid structure as to how the day-to-day is done, then the department head needs to be checked, and not, you know, the actual workers themselves. So
Not on the work.
so that's my opposition.
Liz, call the roll.
Councilmember Archie?
No.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
No.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
We have 2 yeas, 2 nays.
Okay, the motion does not pass, so, all right. Okay, on to item number 6. May I have a motion for item number 6?
Yes, for item number 6, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with the successful bidder, Samato Brothers Construction, Inc., to perform the work and services necessary to complete the city's 2025 drainage structure repair and replacement project, as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17th, 2025.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Information requests? Okay, any opposition? Okay, Liz?
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry,
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion carried. Okay. Item number 7, may I have a motion?
Yes, for item number 7, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to negotiate and enter into an agreement with USA Niagara Development Corporation, USAN, whereby USAN will plan, develop, and pay for significant improvements to the city's DeFranco Park at 480 Main Street as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17, 2025.
May I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Information requests? Okay, any opposition? This,
Councilmember Archie,
Yes.
Councilmember Bax,
Yes.
Councilmember Miles,
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry,
yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Resolution number 8, may I have a motion?
I move the council vote to approve and approve the reorganization of the police department as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17, 2025.
May I have a second? Anybody?
Yeah, second.
Okay. Information requests?
Did this, creation of this position, did it just go through the police union?
I'm sorry,
Did this go through the police union, do we know?
well, it's the brass.
So the brass union, so it went through them to approve?
Well, the chief is in close contact with that union, so I can't imagine that he would put something forward that there wasn't support for.
Didn't we already have this in front of us? I feel like this position was already in front of us with Seneca Niagara.
This particular
Yes.
position was not in front of us. If we turn the clock back to December 18th, the initial discussion with the Senecas was along the lines that they initially thought they might need more than one officer, and there was some discussion that maybe it would be a uniformed officer. After the council authorized the mayor to continue negotiating, the contract shaped up differently, where the Senecas decided that they wanted a detective, just one, full-time. And so the contract with the Seneca Nation has been signed pursuant to the council's authority, but now this step is to create a new detective position who will be assigned, he or she will be assigned to the Seneca Casino to fill that position. And what's probably important for the public to hear is that the Seneca Nation and the casino have agreed to pay that officer's entire salary, any overtime that may be required, and all fringe benefits. So it's no cost to the city, and it's very much like our school resource officers who are assigned to the school district. And that's another scenario where we assign officers to the school district, and they're ultimately reimbursed, their pay is ultimately reimbursed by the school district. So it's really the same type of program.
So we never lost street officers?
No, we won't lose street officers under this proposal, and that's the other good piece of news.
Any other questions? Okay, opposition? Liz?
Councilmember Archie,
Yes.
Councilmember Bax,
Yes.
Councilmember Miles,
It doesn't cost the city anything, and as long as they're not asking us for any money, I'm okay with it. And if they're willing to pay that officer complete salary, I think it's a win, so, yeah. So if they're willing to pay this officer's complete salary, and this is the Seneca Nation, of course, and we're gonna go with what was just placed on record by the attorney, then I think it would be a win. And so we're not losing anything as a city, and hopefully we can take his word and say that we're not losing a street officer as well, somebody on the street to handle our local city issues that we may have. So that's a yes for me.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Item number 9, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, for number 9, I move the council vote to approve and authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement with the successful RFQ respondent, J.R. Swanson Plumbing Co., Inc., to relocate city-owned equipment on Old Falls Street as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated April 17, 2025.
May I have a second?
Second.
Information request? Opposition? Yes.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Item number 10, and I'll note there is a, on the agenda item, there is a small typo with the name Palillo. It should be a W on there, but, resolution number 10, may I have a motion, please?
Yes, for number 10, I move the council vote to approve resolution relative to the appointment of Amy K. DeCastro and Lori J. Pello as Commissioner of Deeds in the city of Niagara Falls, New York.
May I have a second?
Second.
Information request? Opposition? Yes.
Councilmember Archie?
Yes.
Councilmember Bax?
Yes.
Councilmember Miles?
Yes.
Council Chairperson Perry?
Yes.
4 yeas.
4 yeas, the motion's carried. Okay, this brings us to the public speakers for the good of the community. Once again, we will say that as you speak, remember that there is a list of items on the back of your resolution that we ask that you abide by. A maximum of 3 minutes. Please remember to state your issue and name and residency before you speak. And with that, Liz, will you please announce the first speaker?
Our first speaker is Tanya Barone.
Good evening, Tanya Barone, Niagara Falls. I would like to address the special meetings that were held last Tuesday, the 15th, and this week, Monday, the 21st, regarding a proposal and contract award for temporary stray dog holding facility. I see this, and I'm sure many other people see this, as a way to avoid hearing from the public. It was originally on the agenda for this evening, but because the vote went through, it was pulled off. I feel that the residents and the animals are underserved in this situation. The services that have been chosen, no disrespect intended towards the Grand Island business owner, are bare minimum at 10 kennels for just over $10,000 a month. This contract, again, does not meet the needs of the residents who have been continually taking on the worry, care, and concern of loose dogs almost daily. The police dispatchers, unfortunately, have been put in the middle of this situation as well and didn't have the ability to serve the residents' needs or answer questions. It's frustrating for everyone. Now we have a contract with less kennels where we can presume the city will be ordering the death of many innocent animals after a 5-day stray hold just to free up kennel space. It's irresponsible on many levels. If the city budget doesn't allow for full services, including adoption, fostering, and rescue, how can we afford a much larger contract and shelter in our public park? I've been told that the new shelter will have approximately 60 kennels. That information came from a retired DCO here in the city who knows the numbers. of how many animals we've taken in through the years, through the SPCA. If we do the math, this shelter will cost approximately $1 million yearly. I've done my research, so have others. Our current budget is just over $270,000 for the year. Mr. Perry, you were right. It is not in the budget to take on one of the higher price proposals that were offered. And they offered so much more for our residents and animals. That also leads me to believe that this new shelter will not be up and running this year. We don't have the money to pay for a vendor to operate the $4.5 million facility. With all of these questions that have gone unanswered for so long, it's difficult to trust that this council and administration is capable of doing the right thing, not only with this contract, but with many others that we have seen on the table for your votes. We have to do better for our residents and for every service we offer, not just this one. This is
Thank
just
you,
an
Tanya.
example.
Our next speaker is Gloria Dawson.
Good evening, and giving honor to God. First of all, I pray that you all had a great Resurrection Sunday. 2 weeks ago, I came before all of you asking for peace and respect towards all, because this is the way adults behave, respecting one another. I don't know if you have given any thought as to how we can start to improve the appearance of the city and hold everyone accountable who chooses to disrespect and trash the city. One thing I am asking the council to strongly consider is a city ordinance for proprietors, owners of businesses. If you notice, stores have small garbage cans, most no larger than your kitchen garbage can. Therefore, garbage is all over the property. One such place is Family Dollar. These stores should have cans large enough to hold garbage during the day and empty daily. If businesses are not responsible for the way their business looks outside, then there is no respect for the city. Another serious problem is junk. You have cars in front of the yards of people. They have no license, boats, all sorts of debris, and yet we don't know why they are allowed to have this junk outside of the. When people come to Niagara Falls, the first thing they see is the streets full of junk. So I don't know, I think it would be a great idea if we had a city ordinance about that. One serious problem when people move out of their home, they seem to empty everything they own in front of the house, on the lawn, on the corner.
Excuse me, Ms. Dawson. I'm asking for silence in the chambers so that we can hear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead,
You
please.
stop the clock.
Yes, yes.
Okay. If a landlord is held responsible for such actions, a fine or something this would not continue if you show that you mean business. Those names should be at City Hall so that if a person is looking for residence, their names would be there because they have not respected where they lived in the last place. I have one last concern tonight, and that is about Gluck Park. If you go around the city, all the parks seem to be closed in, and you know they are a park. They have a sign, but not Gluck Park. If a car happens to run up in there, there's no way to stop it, and a child can be injured or killed.
Thank you, Ms. Dawson. Your time is up.
Praise the Lord. So I hope you all take that, about that glove park.
Our next speaker to continue, I'll have Helen Coleman come at this time. I know you were on the other list, but to go ahead and speak. You are not.
Once again, that was my topic about Glove Park, because I live directly across the street from Glove Park. It's at the corner of 15th and South Avenue. Well, it's not South Avenue anymore. They removed the Avenue sign and put a sign that just says South. So I sit in my living room, and I watch these little children playing in the park. And they run, we all know how children are. They run out in the street chasing balls and all that stuff. And Glove Park is on the corner. And all of the little toys, not the toys, the monkey bars and the swings and all of that is right on 16th Street. And it's right at the end of at the corner of the street. Now, 2 parks have hit, there's Pastor Mac lives on the corner. 2 cars have hit the fence by her house, right in front of her house. 1 car went in the park and broke the light post. Now, these children are playing in the park, and I was here a couple of times before talking about Glove Park. There should be a fence around that park. There's one that goes right down the south on South Avenue by the basketball court, but nothing where the kids play. It's a large park, and if you drive, I wish you guys would drive by there and take a look at that. And you'll see the danger in that park. These kids are playing there. Somebody's going to get hurt. And I hope you're not waiting until something really happens. A kid could get hit by a car running in the park, a kid running out in the street. There's nothing. All the parks in the city, I've been all around. Glove Park is the only one that doesn't have a fence. And that's a shame. It seems like you're waiting for an accident to happen. And it will happen sooner or later. I just pray to God that it's not me that have an accident, maybe miss the corner or whatever and run in the park and hit a kid. I would never be able to live that down. So I think you should drive around that park. Please do so. And you'll see what I'm talking about. And you'll know the need for a fence around that park. It's dangerous. 3 accidents already. 1 car went in the park and jumped on top of the hedge bushes or whatever those bushes are. And the guy ran off and left the car there. It's been a while. But to sit in my living room and look out that window and see the potential danger that's there, I think you guys should do something about that. And all the park furniture is all dark gray, dark blue. It looked like the stuff left over from painting Grand Island Bridge. Please do so. Just drive around that park and take a look at it. I'm at 1502 South, right on the corner, big white house trimmed in black, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I sit in my living room and look out the window and quench because I just think something is going to happen with kids running out in the street. So this is my plea for Glove Park, and I hope you pay attention. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Janine Gallo, Cayuga Drive. And state your subject, Janine.
Dog shelter.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Here's a book, in case anybody, I'm on record and all the minions watching on TV, of all the facts that I've said about your last contract that went wrong. Here they are, if anybody wants to look at them. So we all know that nobody is here lying about what happened at the last dog shelter. Now again, nothing against the guy that has the boarding facility. But when you do an RFP, okay, it's not always the lowest bidder. I'm sure tonight's ones weren't all the lowest bidders. And I'll say it because you shouted it out to the last 2 meetings. I was the highest bidder. But included in my bid was 3 DCOs that I would have paid for. Put your other police officer back on the streets where they're needed. Okay? It's always been 3 DCOs that you needed to fulfill the need of Niagara Falls dogs, to pick them up instead of the people being injured by them getting hit by cars, and nobody there. You have 1 DCO and nothing against him, but he cannot be the dog warden, the dog inspector, the dog investigator, now he's the adopter, and he's the vet tech. He's added all these things to his job, but when he's off for his vacations and he's only working 40 hours, which is probably 32 hours from his lunches, What do we do the rest of the time? So the bid went correct. You paid for all the kennels of you opened the other business for the other person. I asked for the kennels that were never used for the last 2 years to fulfill the need. Also in my contract, not my contract, but Paws in the Falls, was doubling the amount of the 15 to 30, plus having an additional outsider to handle the dangerous dogs and the court case dogs and everything else, totaling 50 dogs, not 10. And if you're building a facility for 60, obviously you know what's the need. There was someone up there that said 13 wasn't enough, and she just, okay? But enough's enough, okay? And the contract that you accepted off of lies that were told to you, okay, is fine with me. There's no problem. But the point is, they didn't say, here's an RFP, and we're going to give you plan B, C, and D, because then I would have taken some of my stuff off if they were going to pay for something else. Now, obviously, you have 10 kennels. Obviously, Liz has written checks for medical bills for the last 2 years, additional over the 17. Now, all of a sudden, it's 10. There's no medical it's going to need, nothing. The dogs aren't going to need anything. You're playing with the state rules and taking advantage of it instead of worrying about the dogs and the people.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Vincent Cawley of Niagara Falls. And just tell us your subject, Vincent.
Good evening, Council. Appreciate the time. We've already had something about the current and the previous dog shelter. I'm going to talk about the future dog shelter because, of course, we need a dog shelter. Duh. Okay, I've heard that rationality before. Of course, we need one. It would be ideal to have one in the city limits right here in our city. But my thing is there's a right way and a wrong way to do it. If you need money, do you just go out and rob a bank? If you need water, do you just go to a toilet and drink from a sewer? No, there's a right source and a wrong source. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. And that leads me to my point, Article 8, Environmental Conservation Law, Implementing Regulations, Title 6, New York Code and Rules and Regulations, Part 617, also known as SEEKR. SEEKR requires all local, regional, and state government agencies to equally examine the environmental impacts along with the social and economic considerations for a certain project or action during their discretionary review. Agencies must follow this process, which requires them to assess the environmental significance of all actions. So my question is, has the city followed the SEEKR process for this project? If the answer is yes, may we, the public, have the paperwork to do so? If the answer is no, every person in this room is entitled to file action accordingly because, because all governments must comply with SEEKR. What actions, what specific examples of local government actions are that are subject to SEEKR? Adoption or amendment of a comprehensive plan, special use permit approvals, site plan approvals, subdivision approvals, capital improvements. I would classify that shelter being built in Hyde Park as a capital improvement. How about everyone else? So my question is, and it would be great if we could get an answer tonight. I mean, we should know, has the city followed the SEEKR process? Has it submitted? Has it qualified or disqualified that SEEKR process? I sat on that side when we had to deal with other companies that were looking for SEEKR improvements, and we turned some down. I was fighting for jobs. We turned some down. We allow others to come up. Now, my question tonight is, has the city followed the SEEKR process? Otherwise, I believe that's one reason we can get this shut down, because it's just not the right thing to do. I love dogs. I love kids. There are many other problems we can divert this money to do. So my question is, have we followed the SEEKR process? Thank you.
Our next speaker is last name Lewis. May you say it again, please? Uniqua, thank you. Can we please silence the phones? I know it's not you, it's multiple phones. We want to silence the phones before I get started. And please, the conversations, I have to do the recording, so I need to be able to hear the speaker. So if you're speaking while the speaker is speaking, please don't do that, so that I am able to get an accurate recording. That means everybody. Thank you.
So my name is Unica.
Unica, thank you.
Unica Lewis. I am speaking on the good of the community. I'm a part of the Entrepreneur School of Thought. We will have our 4th annual city cleanup. It's actually May 10th if anyone would like to come and participate. Last year, I just want to say there is a lot, like on the side of a vacant house, the bushes, the grass and everything is growing so high you can barely see what's in it. But last year when we were doing our cleanup, we actually found a dead dog. And I just, today, after we, worked out and everything, I just mentioned that we need to actually get in contact with DPW. I was gonna actually print out a picture so you guys could actually see it. If you can take a look at that area, which is 19th and Ashland, there is a vacant house, and on the side, the bushes is really high, so the owner obviously isn't taking care of that property. Also, there was an incident that I saw on Facebook in regards to a garden that DPW kind of destroyed. And I do remember being present for a meeting where there was, something being passed in regards to them being able to clean up property and things of that nature and bill the owner of the property. That garden was actually being taken care of. It may not look, to the point of everybody else's of approval, but they were actually taking care of that property and taking care of the garden and cleaning it up and everything. So the people, DPW didn't even want to destroy it. They even gave them like a $150 gift card from Home Depot so that they can, kind of start their repair for that property. And they stated that they really didn't want to do that, but they were, from the higher up, from the top. So so that was that issue. But I do also know of a few different areas where the property is saturated with the garbage. There's even garbage in alleys. People are dumping from other cities, and that should be a main priority as to somebody that's actually taking care of their garden. So I kind of feel like they, things aren't going as they should. DPW, maybe their priorities. I don't know who's the higher up or who's, ordering these things to be done, but they need to take care of what's really more important first as far as like the garbage instead of destroying people's property. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Lawrence Blaber Jr., 38th Street, Save a Lot in Businesses.
Evening, everybody. My Facebook was lit up because of apparently Save a Lot closing, and I thought there'd actually be more people talking about it today. I didn't. Check. All right. Can we pause?
You're
I
good.
didn't yield my time.
You're good. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah, so it was on my Facebook feed. People were complaining about it, so I thought there'd be more people talking about it because I wanted to take the moment to educate the public and take a little bit of heat off of the city council and the mayor here. Save a Lot left because we're not a good place to have a business. I don't mean to ever badmouth this city. I don't want anybody to think I dislike this city, but I'm a realtor. I recruit businesses for commercial leases. I try to sell businesses on investors on starting projects in the city. A lot of you should be glad you're not in that room because the things that are said about this city are very hurtful. I'll tell you when I'm not on the mic one-on-one. But it really boils down to facts here, right? And it boils down to my main passion, educational reform. I'm an educational reform activist. We are watering our garden with a broken hose. You know, you can get some water in some spots, but if there's a hole in the hose, you're not going to get to where you need, right? So that's where we're at, because the part that's getting out is 20% of our third graders are reading at grade level. The part that's not getting out is, that means 80% of our third graders can't read a third grade book, right? And that trickles up, because then a third of our eighth graders aren't reading at eighth grade. So we're graduating 87% of the people, but I don't know 66% of them who are graduating technically can't read. Now, a business person looks at that and says, what kind of person am I hiring? Can they work the cashier? Can they work the cash register? They can't take the test to be a manager. If that means if they're poor, I got theft issues, concerns now. These are all things that happen from a business perspective. So I just want you to know that of that 80%, though, I know for a fact we've got a bunch of future engineers, doctors, and stuff like that, because my daughter's in that 80%. All right? And I asked you to show up with the same numbers and intensity at the school board meetings that you do here. Okay? There's not even a pew full of people at the school board meeting.
Thank you,
Okay?
Mr. Blaber. Your time is up.
Just one last thing.
Your time is up. His time is up. Thank you so much.
My time was cut off.
Your time, nope, I let you roll past your time. It wasn't cut off. Thank you. I appreciate you. The next speaker I have is Bobby. Is there Bobby still here? No Bobby? Bobby? A B-O-B-B-Y? No Bobby? All right. All right, so the next speaker I have is Jennifer. I don't want to struggle, Jennifer. Come on up. 78th Street. Come on up. Thank you so much.
I hesitate to speak, and that's rare if you ever knew me. I'm Jennifer Piteresi. I'm a lifelong resident of Niagara Falls, born here, raised here. My father sat in Councilman Bax's seat years ago in the 1970s as the lone Republican on the city council. I'm here as president of the board of the Niagara SPCA, and I'm speaking on the good of the community. I'm not here we are not a vendor in the RFP. We don't have a dog in the fight, per se. What we do care about is the city itself and the dogs of our community. Dogs, stray dogs in the city are a public safety issue. They are also I'd say an economic development issue, right? We're a tourist city. So we can't have dangerous dogs running around, and we shouldn't have nice dogs running around stray that could get hit by a car or freeze in the winter. Knowing that, and knowing that we are the SPCA who said our central mission is preventing cruelty to animals, that after 12 years we could no longer keep sustaining taking all of the city's stray dogs, that stray dogs are actually a responsibility of municipalities. Anti-cruelty is our mission. Knowing that and having respect for the city, respect for the mayor, respect for this council, we made an offer of help. And I'm not going to talk about the details of that because we haven't heard back much on it yet. But here is the issue. It was said in the newspaper, and I'm old enough to know that not everything you read in the paper is exact. Okay, we all know that, right? So it said that we would be overflow at the SPCA if the 10 kennels didn't hold. We all know that we had many more than 10 dogs from the city of Niagara Falls at the shelter. We care for them. Some of them are still there 2 years later. So the only issue is we can't be overflow. People can't start bringing the dogs to the shelter on Monday or Tuesday. We will do whatever we can to help. We have a good relationship with your DCO. Not to say there hasn't been any issue over the years. This is a tough city. It's a tough problem. This population control problem isn't a Niagara Falls problem. It's a nationwide problem, okay? And being no-kill at our shelter, that's a formula, has a lot of factors. You have to have spay-neuter programs. You have to have adoption programs, foster programs. You don't just say we're no-kill and then keep every single dog. And we have said before, a municipal shelter coupled with an SPCA is the formula. That's what Erie County does. And their shelter wasn't no-kill for a long time. So we're just here to say we still stand ready to help. It is not as overflow. What
Thank
we
you.
offered was a bridge,
Your time is
not
up,
a
Jennifer.
reservoir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
That was the last speaker for this evening.
Okay, with that, the meeting is adjourned.